we have another game here. So these are the finals. Okay, finals. Let's go. So let me confirm you what we are going against. So I think it's Lugia against Zone Rayquaza once again. Interesting. So 2 battle VIP passes are now in the opening hand. I think this is pretty much what you can wish for. Maybe you want also a Colress, but Colress should come with time. And this not only allows you to see exactly what you want, what you have, all the resources that you have, but also to set up your field perfectly. The key for this matchup, as we have been seeing, is whether Lost Box is able to draw the cards that they need in the order that they need, whether Lugia is able to disrupt their resources via Marnie, and also if Lugia is able to pull off a very quick attack with maybe something like Raikou that will allow to take multiple prizes at the same time. Anyways, so the priority here for Lost Box is to set up at least a couple of confies, I would say. So to make sure that you send at least 2 or 3 cards to the Lost Zone and keep things going. Then Greninja will be used to draw some extra cards. Greninja here is the perfect draw engine, mainly because, well, I mean, you want cards in the discard zone. And a second battle VIP pass will be played, maybe getting a Oranguru. Oranguru seems a pretty safe choice. And I wonder if they are going to leave one spot free or they will go... No. So it seems that they are grabbing another comfy because of the net, I would imagine. Because of the net, yes. Because of the net. So flower selecting... yeah, maybe you want to keep the net because Sableye is not that relevant. I mean, it is relevant, but 1 is more than enough, especially considering that they run 2 copies of Ordinary Rod, and that's it. So they are saving the nets, and Oranguru has been used defensively to put Colress on the top of the deck in case that the opponent decides to Marnie. Now, what are we seeing here? Ooh, Flying Pikachu! That's huge! So, Flying Pikachu is one of the biggest counters that certain decks have in the format, mainly Regigigas and friends. But also, it really gives a lot of problems to decks like Lost Zone because it blocks any of your attackers. If you think about it, the only generic attacker that Lost Box runs that can do any damage to Flying Pikachu is Sableye, and one of them has already been sent to the Lost Zone. Now, of course, that does not mean that Flying Pikachu is completely immune to the attacks, because there can be a well-timed combination of Escape Rope plus Boss's Orders. With Escape Rope, you eliminate the protection that Flying Pikachu gets, and Boss's Orders puts it back into the active position, and it's easy to get a KO, especially with so many lightning attackers that this deck runs, like Raikou and Raikou V. And I think that's probably the route of play that we will be seeing at some point. Anyways, it was interesting that Luminion here was used to grab Professor's Research instead of Marnie, but it is because they prioritized setting up and not disrupting the hand. The problem is that I think 2 Aurora's energies are already in the discard pile, which might complicate things for the long term, but let's see. So flower selecting had been used, then we are going to be seeing a couple of nets, and we might even get to see a Mirage Gate attack this turn. So that's a difficult choice, but well, you already have one Colressing in hand, so I think that it's safe to pick the Raikou here. And I wonder then what is going to be the play, because Lugia, considering that there is no dance bars protecting Lugia, is going to be an easy prey for anything that can hit for lightning weakness. So I wonder if the attacker of choice will be Raikou or Raikou V. Remember that the 2 versions of Raikou are being played right now. So Comfy gets 1 energy, sends 1 quick ball to the lost zone. Another Comfy seems to be now about to be played. Yes, that is the case. There is still, I think, 1 energy left to reach the magic number of 7. That opens the possibility to attack with basically anything that you want. So let's see, because there are different, as I was saying, there are different possibilities that Zone Rayquaza can go for. So either we can play passively, or they just go for a big attack or for a big KO. And Boss Disorders, of course, was prioritized because that's what is going to give you the possibility to survive or to get over Flying Pikachu's lock. So I don't know why, but I feel that Rayco is the weapon of choice here. Pretty interesting. And it's going to be immediately powered up by the copy of Mirage Gate that is already standing in the hand of the player. Remember also that Rayco V has an interesting ability that I always forget to use, but it does have it, which allows you to draw 1 card once per turn. So I guess that this is something that they will use as well. Interestingly enough, another scary attacker has been benched. I guess it is a way to scare a bit or to show your cards to your opponent, but as well to prepare things, right? And also because you are going to be using a Mirage Gate. Ooh, only 2 energies left on the deck. So not a lot. No, not a lot. Definitely not a lot. So yeah, an energy will be attached to Rayco. Then Colress is probably, I think Colress or Boss Disorders. Okay, so Boss Disorders is going to go into the top of the deck. And well, the KO gets used. Again, the KO gets taken. I was wondering why the ability from Rayco was not used. Maybe, I don't know, they already had everything that they needed in hand. So, Flying Pikachu gets promoted. We see it now evolves into Flying Pikachu V Max, which was the worst nightmare in the times that Palkia was one of the most relevant decks. And by the way, remember that Radiant Pikachu Pikachu V Max is still our world champions. Anyways, Lugia V Star uses its ability. We now see 2 Archeops being placed onto the bench. Pretty straightforward, and this is what you want to see when you play Lugia, of course. Now, the question is, or the situation is as follows. So probably the attacker here is going to be Flying Pikachu, and it won't pick the KO on Rayco because it has 200 HP, I believe. So Rayco will survive. Now, remember that Flying Pikachu puts kind of a shield around that prevents all the damage done by basic Pokemon. And the only way, as I was saying before, is you have 2 options here. You either ignore Flying Pikachu and start getting KOs via escape ropes and stabilized damage counters, or you use a combination of escape rope plus Boss Disorders at the same time on Pikachu to get the KO. So let's see what Loston is going to do here. I don't see them having access anytime soon. Well, maybe Greninja will give them. This is very interesting, and this is a game-changing moment because maybe Greninja will give the escape rope. And no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Now the problem is, what do you do at this situation? Do you kind of just ignore Flying Pikachu and use Boss Disorders to get an easy KO on Lugia VMAX, but then how do you get the remainder of the prizers? Do you get them via Sableye, or is there another possibility? I don't know. Or maybe with Rayco and a combination of Sableye, or do you save the Boss Disorders and wait for you to have an opportunity to draw into it with to draw into Escape Rope in the next turns? That's a decision that has to be made. That's a decision that has to be made right now. So let's see. Ranguru is going to put Raihan on the top. Okay. Still no escape rope. So Boss Disorders going to... Yeah, because I understand Lugia and Luminion are so tempting staying there, and so very... It's so easy and so... You see that you can easily get 2 prizes and that you will only need to draw 2 more, that you are very tempted to do that. But the problem, the only fear that I have is long term, how this is going to affect the matchup. True that you can still target Luminium down with Sableye, and 2 attacks from Sableye will do that. I am excited for Superior Energy Retrieval, of course. I played during the Blastoise Keldeo era. But anyways, going back to the commentary, I think that what is imperative from Lugia is Marnie. Marnie needs to come in play now, or if not, or well, that's even better than Marnie. Come on, like Roxanne. And Roxanne messes up the entire strategy, because remember that Raihan was put on the top of the deck, and now this can give Lugia so much space, so much time, the time that they needed to come back into this game. Roxanne, in fact, is like the perfect comeback card. I know that we have all faced these players that played that, and we have all used Roxanne, and they have drawn the exact combination of cards that they needed. But still, this Roxanne could be huge. Let's see. Okay, so Comfy was able to pick a Colress. Okay, Colress is now going to give a breath, some fresh air to Lost Zone here. And that might be the end of Lugia's dream. Still, they need to find a way to attack. So the 2 possibilities to attack here are either with Sableye or with Rayquaza, or nothing, it seems, because this does not provide any chances, do they? Rayquaza does not need a generic energy, and Sableye requires a psychic energy. It's true that maybe Capture Energy could be a very good choice here, because you can still discard it with Greninja. So, but maybe I am missing something, and maybe what they are going to do is to prioritize. Maybe they are going to prioritize the Quick Ball to set up something. So I think that here, considering that Escape Rope has been played, we might see Cramorant attacking this turn. And Cramorant will either... Now, that's a difficult situation, because what do you promote? Either you promote the Archeops, or you promote the Luminion. Luminion has the advantage of having the possibility of healing itself via Aqua Return. So technically, you won't need to worry about it getting damaged. The problem, if you do that, is that you are already freeing up your opponent from the Radiant Pikachu lock. And that's something, I think that's the win condition that you have here, right? So it makes sense that Archeops is promoted, also because it only requires 1 energy to retreat. So let's say Oranguru gets used. Mirage can be very important in this situation. In fact, it can even win the Lost Zone can even win the game next turn if it hits the right combination of cards. Another Luminous... Oh, please tell me that there is another Roxanne in the deck. No. It would have been so cool to see the old Roxanne in the finals. No, but it is clear that there is only one copy here. So Boss's Order was grabbed, and Raikou, which was clearly a problem, it was going to become a problem next turn, has now gone to the discard pile. Now, this definitely changes how to approach this matchup. I think, another Colress. Well, actually, those Comfies are fire. Those Comfies are hitting some nice cards. I think that the plan here is to target down the Archeops. So Sableye can do it pretty easily, but you will need to recycle Sableyes at some point. So yes, I don't think that Radiant Rayquaza is, well, maybe, no, probably Radiant Rayquaza is not worth picking because you already have the Rod if you wanted to. Well, maybe yes, because you want to attack with it into something that your opponent puts into the active position and you have Escape Rope, maybe that's it. So Colress experiment, deciding what to grab here. So Rayquaza, the Rod, and the right hand. The second Escape Rope, it seems that it's going to be played here. Maybe trying to lure out the second Archeops. Yeah, maybe this is already putting a lot of pressure onto Lugia. Because again, like the situation is exactly the following. What do you promote? If you promote Luminion, then you are renouncing to your Flying Pikachu lock. But if you don't, I think that's the smartest choice. You want to absorb all the damage by that already wounded Archeops and take the attack from Cramorant. So I think, well, there are still some options. If Rayquaza doesn't want to attack with Cramorant, it can still attack with Sableye. There is a possibility to do that. So let's see after that what is the decision that they take. It seems that Ordinary Road is going to be played or not. There are plenty of energies already and plenty of attackers, so I don't exactly know. The thing with Lost Zone is that it's not a straightforward deck. It's more like a toolbox kind of deck. So the challenge about playing this type of strategy is to understand what to do at what point and when do you need to be using certain attacks or certain abilities. As you see, you can either attack with Cramorant, you can attack with Rayquaza, you can attack with basically whatever you want. So yes, Pikachu is immune to attacks from basic Pokemon, but as I was explaining at the beginning, all that this deck runs is basic Pokemon, so very effectively. So this is very effectively countering Lost Zone. So what was played, nevertheless, was the energy recycling. Maybe that hints the fact that we are going to be seeing Mirage Gate now. I don't know, but could be. So Sableye gets benched and Mirage Gate is going to be used for just one energy, I would imagine, onto the Sableye. If that is correct. So let's see. The player, of course, checking all the possibilities and making sure that that everything is correct. And there we go. So it didn't fall for the Archeops bait, and it's just going to go ahead and use Lost Mine. So KOing the Archeops, and I think that yes. So the remaining counters will be placed in the other Archeops, and for the next turn, it is as easy, more or less, it is as easy as to get another Sableye, and that's it. And you basically win you basically win the game. And by the way, you have right hand on hand plus the Ordinary Rod, so that basically guarantees it because you can use. Well, no, you first need to do something else. But you have Comfy, you have Greninja, so there are quite some possibilities. To be honest, there are quite some possibilities. Let's see. I would love, as I was saying, I would love to see a second Roxanne or something that disrupts the hand. If the thing is that if the opponent Roxanne's now, it could be very, very, very interesting because it will get rid or there will be no way to easily access the Rod. And we know that the second copy of Sableye has already been sent to the Lost Zone. So things can get crazy. Things can get crazy here. And it seems that we are going to see... Oh, Marnie! I called it! So Marnie. Okay. Very, very, very crucial moment of the game. Oh, but right hand now... A second right hand has been drawn, which was not that easy because there were a lot of energies there. So I think that Comfy needs to be promoted into the active position. The path is also going to be shutting down. Amazing to be shutting down not Rayquaza, sorry, Greninja. Please remember that I've been like casting for so many hours now and it's difficult to remember the names. So now the problem is that if they want to win this turn, so if Lost Zone wants to win this turn, they need to pull, I think that they need to pull Sableye attack here. But I don't see, unless I am missing something, I am not sure if I see how, I don't see the possibility of them getting it now, unless they use, I don't know, they use Oranguru and Oranguru gives them one of the missing pieces. That's the only way I see that happening. So Battle VIP Pass is not going to be used, of course, because it cannot be used. How cool it would be. And I think that we are just going to see like a retreat and pass. Not much left to do in this situation. Yeah, maybe Cramorant will take the hit. Remember that Pikachu is just sitting there, hanging, eating popcorn and seeing everything, basically. Yeah, he needs to recover the Sableye, absolutely. The thing is that we know that the only recycling option that he had was the Super Rod, and Super Rod had been sent to the bottom of the deck because of Marnie. So maybe what is going to happen is that right hand will be used to grab the Super Rod. Yes, that's it. So right hand will be used to grab the Super Rod. That's it. And now there needs to be a very strategic decision of what to pick, because you of course don't want to recycle more cards than the ones that you actually need, because that way you will have more possibilities to draw into Sableye next turn. So yeah, I think this is right. So just one Sableye and Raikou. So Raikou maybe because he's planning to attack with Raikou and Mirage. Maybe the energies were already were enough to pull off a Raikou attack. Maybe that's something that I'm missing with the Oranguru and everything. So, well, yeah, let's see. Maybe they are going to sacrifice. I don't know if they're going to pass the turn or if they will retreat. No, nothing gets retreated. So that means that probably Cramorant is going to take the hit. And let's see what happens here. Let's see, so Ultra Ball gets played, maybe to thin out a little bit the deck. I don't think that Lugia runs any more Luminions, so I don't think there is a chance to see another supporter being played or being grabbed. Now this is huge, but they don't have the possibility to recycle their energy. So it's true that if there were enough Aurora energies, this could already seal the game, but this was not the case, so Ultra Ball was just used to thin out the game, and this is the moment of truth. I think that there are a lot of possibilities from Lost Box to get the KO. Oh, no! No, wait, how bad, like, Sableye and the energy. Okay, there is still a chance. So there is still a chance, but if they want to get it, Oranguru needs to give them the stadium. So Oranguru needs to give them the stadium. That's all that is left, I think. Oof. What an unfortunate Comfy. If the Oranguru gives them the stadium, they basically win. Our right hand. And right hand also gives them the stadium, so they win. Okay, whew. I really thought that they wouldn't have it. I really thought that they wouldn't have it. Oh, or there was one of them in the... So there was one in the discard pile. Anyway, so Rayhan wins the game for Lost Zone. It was actually closer than I expected. It was a very, very nerve-wracking matchup. It was all decided, but that Oranguru. And it's true that they had possibilities, but also it was very, very unlucky the fact that they didn't get that they had to get rid of the energy. But well, very well played for both players. Now Amazing Rayquaza leading the race 1-0. So believe in the heart of the cards. That's it. So when you believe in the heart of the cards, they will do what you want them to do. No, just joking. So let's go into game number 2. I was really considering the possibility that Lost Zone could lose the game. And that is pretty impressive considering how aggressive they started and how many prizes they drew before Lugia even started attacking. So, seems that Lugia is going to start. Now, what it's going to be key is to see how quickly Radiant Pikachu is going to start attacking. Because on the first game, we saw Pikachu VMAX attacking in turn 3, I believe. But let's see. So, not much from Lugia. It seems only 3 energies in the 3 energies, 2 of them lightning ones. That's not exactly what you want to see when you play a Hisuian Heavy Ball, but there is no other choice. And Lugia also didn't seem to have the best start ever. It's true that they opened with a Lugia, which is good, but only a lone attachment. I think that Oranguru is going to be grabbed here, or was the fighting energy priced as well? No, maybe not. So the good thing is that with double Comfy and with the Scoop Up Nets, it is easy now to access your supporters, like the one that we see here, Colress Experiment, that will probably give some Battle VIP passes, or maybe not. Well, still not, but it's good. You are already sending at least 4 cards, I will say, to the Lost Zone. And this is absolutely huge and crucial. You can even get a turn 1 Cramorant attack. And the only problem that I see with that is that the Ordinary Rod is going to be sent to the Lost Zone, which can be then very important to recycle your energies. But let's see what happens. There is a bit of hesitating here, whether to get the Rod or the energy. And I know that this is not an easy choice. I completely get it. I think because I am more like a conservative player, I might want to keep the Rod, but this is not like a white or black type of decision. So already, I think that, 4 cards already in the Lost Zone, most of which are precisely energy cards, 3 energy cards. And so, yeah, that's probably going to be it. Another energy will be sent to the discard pile, and we are going to see a Cramorant attacking. Now, Manaphy is gone, which could open the possibility for a Raikou play at some point, and Oranguru will probably put... Well, I don't know what you want to put on the top of your deck, because none of the cards that you have are really going to make a difference, at least short term. Maybe the Escape Rope. Yeah. So how many Mirage gates do you want? Answer, yes. That's basically it. Oh my god. Anyways, so Lugia gets evolved. Now, it is very important for Lugia to set up the Archeops right now. And they need to set up Flying Pikachu as soon as possible if they want to have chances to win. By the way, you have a quick survey that you can participate in of who you think is going to win. Okay, so 2 Archeops are already in the discard pile. That, of course, is going to allow Lugia to use its ability and to start powering up different attackers. I guess that the first KO is going to be picked by Lugia itself, and the next ones will be followed by Flying Pikachu. Another very important factor that will make a difference if we compare it to the game that we saw before is that no Aurora energies have been sent to the discard pile. So potentially that opens the play of a Raikou, or it opens the play of maybe even Charizard, but I think that Raikou is definitely the scariest attacker that Lugia can bring to take the last 2 prizes. So, Comfy, now the Lost Zone, so Rayquaza is a bit stuck. It's a bit stuck because, as you see, it has basically all the Mirage Gates in the world, one Rod that is not exactly what you want to see, Sableye that cannot attack because you don't have the energies. Well, you can attack with Sableye if you really wanted to, but at the cost of using one of your very precious Mirage Gates. So I don't know. Okay, but Comfy here saves the day, Comfy the hero, giving a Colrex experiment. Okay, now things change a little bit because we can see there are different things, there are different options. So maybe we can see an attack from Raikou getting the KO on Lugia. Maybe we can see a Radiant Rayquaza, but if you consider the amount of resources that you invest, so, or maybe not. So maybe we are not going to see a KO this turn. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens here. So right hand, maybe we are going to see a Raikou, amazing Raikou. Or let's see. Okay, so Raikou was finally picked, which on the one hand, it's true that it's a very cost-efficient attacker because you know that it's going to get the KO on Lugia for only 2 energies. But on the other hand, it is giving Lugia 2 prizes. So if Lugia takes those 2 prizes, then Flying Pikachu gets another prize. And there are enough Aurora energies in the deck. Raikou can finish everything off. So let's see what happens here. I think that maybe the safest attack here would be, the safest attacker would be Raikou. Not the VMAX, not the V, sorry. But let's see. Also, I have the feeling like the Lost Zone Rayquaza player is like constantly living on the edge, in the sense that they always draw the follow-up supporter via Comfy. But until they play, they use flower picking. There is no way to know what they are going to do. Another possibility here could be to play Escape Rope. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Sableye gets bench, it seemed. And maybe we are going to see a second, yes. So we see a second Mirage Gate coming to, of course, maximize the potential of it since it attaches 2 energies. And now it saves the Escape Ropes and Raikou is going to pick the KO and deal some damage. Now, the question is, where do you put the damage counters? Onto the Archeops? Yes. So I think the strategy that we are going to be seeing here is, once again, ignoring Flying Pikachu. You can touch it? Okay, no worries. I can still go for something that you have on your bench. So that's basically going to be it. Now, let's see if we see... So Flying Pikachu hits the field, and this is massive. This is exactly what I was talking about, that Raikou can become a real menace here. And I think that this can be absolutely problematic because it will get 2 prizes and then... Oh, and this is even worse. Well, not exactly worse because the hand was not that good, to say at least, but it definitely puts into a challenging situation. So let's see what Marnie gives the Lost Zone player, because I think that both Raikou and Sableye are going to go down. And this even sets down Radiant Greninja, which has not been benched yet. But let's see. So Sableye and Comfy. And the problem is, and this is a big one, that if the if Rayquaza is not able to respond this turn to Raikou, the game is probably over. The game is probably over. That's basically it. Fortunately, it was so 2 supporters were drawn, Colress Experiment and Raihan. And let's see what is played here. Maybe, well, Colress Experiments gives more possibilities, but Raihan also gives exactly what you need. So let's see. Okay, Flower Selecting, gets an Air Balloon, which is very nice. Okay, and getting rid of 1 Battle VIP pass. Now, what's the play? That's the thing. What's the play? How do you get rid? You need to get rid of that Raikou. If you want to win this game, you need to get rid of Raikou. You cannot let that Raikou survive. So they are going for the safe choice. And the safe choice seems to be none other than Raihan. But then what is the attacker of choice? Is it going to be a Cramorant? Maybe it's Cramorant, right? Because I don't see any other basic Pokemon being able to attack with the hand that they have. So yes, Cramorant is going to be grabbed from the prize cards. Hisui and Heavy Ball doing its job, which is good. And then at least there is a chance to come back into this game. It's still not the best one, but we can say some things. And I think that Boss's Orders has not been used. Okay, so now I would imagine that we are going to see an attack from Flying Pikachu, and that was a nice draw from the prize cards, because now you can be less, you can have more options to attack with your attackers, because of course the Lightning Energy was used. Okay, so Radiant Pikachu attacks. Only 2 prizes remaining for Lugia, 3 remaining for Lost Box. I think that Colress is going to be used. Well, maybe first Oranguru or not. So Colress is going to be used. Easy choices here. So it looks like the 4th copy of Colress is going to be sent to the Lost Zone, as well as the Battle VIP Pass. And what was it? Yes, and the Battle VIP Pass. So prioritizing a way to search Pokemon. And then don't forget that we still have the Flower Selecting ability that it's probably going to send. Maybe Oranguru could have been used to send Battle VIP Pass, or maybe that's something that you want to discard with the Quick Ball. Maybe that's it. And then what to do here? What to do here, because the only attacker that you have in this situation is Sableye, but I don't think that, because there are no energies, is there a way to attack? Well, maybe actually being 3 prizes down, what you can do in this type of situation is to try to save your resources, maybe promote something that you don't care about, like Greninja, and to save your resources to get a final combination of Rayquaza or Raikou, plus the Boss's Orders that is already in hand, plus the Escape Rope. And with that, you seal the game. But you have 2 turns to do it. That's the thing. And I think that's basically what the strategy that Lost Zone needs to follow now. So, we see the timer running out. That always gives me anxiety, by the way, whenever the timer starts the countdown. I feel that Comfy needs to retreat. Yes, because that's the primary source of drawing cards. Isn't that a bit... I mean, I understand this, because this is like some sort of all or nothing type of play. if the opponent has bosses orders, well, it still cannot KO Raikou unless it has something like Radiant Charizard and the last energy. But I don't think they have it. Okay, that's fine. And if they are doing what I think they are going to do, this is going to be very, very smart, which is trying to prevent the combo or not. Or no, wait, do they have it? Wait. Do they have the KO? Oh, they have the KO! So 4... Oh my god, 4 powerful energies into the Archeops. Well, I was not expecting that. Oh my god. That was such a steal. We have been discussing earlier that Archeops is actually a very powerful attacker that can even KO some V Pokemon out of the blue if there are enough energies on the deck. And this was the perfect example of how this works. I mean, wow. I am very, very happy that we are getting to see and to enjoy these amazing finals, because this was definitely something that I was kind of contemplating the bosses orders, but I don't know why. I thought that maybe we would see another attacker, maybe not with Archeops, but it would have been easier to target it down with a basic Lugia V or even a Southland, right? But wow. Anyways, very, very, very cool and interesting movement to seal the game. As I was saying, benching the Raikou V was a bit risky, but at the same time it was a bet, and you had to take it. You were basically telling your opponent, look, if you have bosses orders and a lot of powerful energies, you win the game. But if you don't, next turn, I'm probably going to be able to pull combination of bosses orders and escape rope, and I'm going to win the game. So, and sometimes you just have to assume those risks. That's what this is about. This is a game, and sometimes the bet pays off, and sometimes it doesn't. But well, I'm glad that we are going to see a third and decisive game. And yep, there we start. So, Lugia versus Lost Box. Who's going to win? So in this case, Lost Box starts, and Sableye is the Pokemon that gets placed into the active position, of course, because it only has, I think, 1 retreat cost. The Battle VIP Pass is going to allow to set up pretty nicely, probably grabbing a couple of Comfys. We see that the Raikou is there, Raikou V is priced, and what else is priced? Well, I cannot see everything right now, but so all the Mirage are there, which is also pretty interesting. One right hand is priced, and probably some energies are priced. I think that one Steel Energy must be on the prices as well, because the grass is already on hand, and there are 2 of the others except for Lightning Energies. So Radiant Greninja will discard the grass energy, and how many? So we see, I was going to ask, how many capture energies do you want? It doesn't matter because you got them all. So maybe this will grab either Oranguru, I think, or Comfy. Oranguru is usually, I think it's preferred in this type of situations, just because it can help you. It is like Marnie proof. And now this is an interesting choice, because do you grab the Manaphy or do you set up even farther? I think that Manaphy is better in this situation. We saw that actually the way in which Lugia won the last game was because Manaphy had not been benched. It was decided to it was decided that it should go to the Lost Zone. And yes, Oranguru here protecting the owner from Marnie. I'm going to miss Oranguru so much. But at the same time, I think that I'm not going to miss Marnie. So, well, let's see. Lugia discards one Punkaboo that is probably not going to be used at all during this matchup. Benches one Lugia, and we need to see Archeops going down. Archeops getting discarded. So capture energy. Let's see what... Maybe it's going to be a Raikou. Let's see what happens here. And I think that maybe then the choice that Lugia needs to make is what it's going to allow to be on the active position, because Pikachu can easily go down because of Raikou, and so can, well, Lugia itself. So Lugia, it's clear that cannot go into the active spot. So it just passes the turn. Okay, interesting. It just passes the turn. And here, possibilities are open for Lost Zone, because if Raikou V is not priced, it can pull an easy KO, as Flying Pikachu is weak to Lightning. Then, if you really wanted to, I guess that you could attack with Radiant Rayquaza, but then you will need to invest 3 energies, and that might not be exactly what you need. And what would be even better if you can get access to your boss's orders, you just boss orders the Lugia and you basically win the game. But of course, that's not very likely. So that's why Colress gets played instead. So energies being prioritized, and one Radiant Rayquaza is going to be sent to the Lost Zone. I think that it's very important to not to get rid of your escape ropes, because they, as you see, they helped you not exactly overcome the lock of Flying Pikachu, but at least to hit something. And this is, of course, very important. So, Comfy getting used. I didn't see exactly what were the two choices. So let's see. Colress and Mirage. This is a difficult one, because on the one hand you need the resources that Colress provides, but on the other, not using all your Mirage gates can also be an issue in late game. But yeah, I agree that maybe Colress is safer. And I think it's better to play it safe here. So now the question is, as we have been repeating for some time now, what is going to be the attacker of choice? So the capture energy will get attached to Comfy, and we are going to now see, maybe it is, I was going to suggest Raikou, but maybe it's not Raikou. Maybe it's another thing. Let's see. Or maybe it's right. It seems that there is a debate between Raikou or Cramorant. And also deciding whether to bench Cramorant or not. And in the end, it does. So maybe we say a Speed Innocently. Okay, so Speed Innocently and Prevent Wisdom, protecting the Marnie play still. And we're going to say yes, one attack, and that's it. So probably what's going to happen now is that this Flying Pikachu will never ever evolve, and that's it, and won't be touched. But on the other hand, it is already damaged, so it can be easily finished by a Sableye. We see an Ultra Ball now. I was going to say a Strong Energy, but that's so old school. Oh my god, Strong Energy. A Powerful Energy gets discarded. Lugia hits the field, and probably this is going to send another Archeops to a boss's orders. So will we see a Marnie here? No, we see a Raikou. Okay, so I like that. Actually, this is the best probably time to use Raikou, mainly because Manaphy is not on the field, and the player has decided to prioritize other attackers and Comfys and things like that instead of Manaphy. So let's see, I wonder how many Archeops. I guess that there must be at least 2 Archeops in the discard pile. One has gone for sure, and the other, yes, perfect. So Lugia, V-Star ability, and now Archeops using one of the strongest abilities that we've seen in the game so far by attaching special energy cards, and Raikou is going to attack. Now, the targets could be either Sableye or the other Raikou. So I think that those are the choices. Or Comfy. Okay, Comfy, because it's kind of relying on the opponent not having anything. And it understands that, yeah, and also because it forces to promote something that maybe you don't want. So good thing is that Colress was saved for this situation. So that's going to give some very, very welcome resources. And in this case, the lack of a stadium might be very important in the long term, but I also think that the Balloon and the Scoop Up Net are important cards. So maybe we are going to see a Comfy here, or just a Escape Rope, and let's see what happens here. Because there are different things that are going on at the very same time. So you absolutely need to KO Raikou. That's what you need to do. Again, you cannot allow Raikou to survive and to attack you other turn, because basically you lose the game. Then you want to also kind of set up. So I think that the only attacker that can take Raikou down is Sableye. And the good thing is that the corresponding energy is already on hand. So probably what we are going to see here is flower picking, then an attachment of the duel, a retreat, an attack from Sableye, a Lost Mine, targeting the or not. Maybe I am missing something, or maybe he didn't have enough cards for Sableye to attack. Maybe that was it. Yeah, maybe I assumed that. I don't know why I assumed that every time Lost Box hits the turn 3, they already have 10 cards in the Lost Zone, and maybe that's not the case. So maybe it's all about trying to accelerate as much as you can to get it. And I think there are only 8. You're right. I think there are only 8. So a lot of Comfy's shenanigans here to try to get. So 1, 2. I didn't see it, but I feel that there must be around 9. A lot of Comfy shenanigans, but again, like if you don't hit something now and Raikou attacks, oof. Okay, Mirage. Ooh, that was absolutely crucial. That was the top deck that can change everything and basically save the game. So it was a top deck. Now I think that they are going to recycle some energies and attack with Raikou. And also do they have the manual attachment? I think they do. Yes, I think they have the manual attachment. So, and Raikou is going to go down, and also, which is very key, when Archops is also going to go down. And that's something that I love about this format, is how when you think that the game has already been decided, or that one player is such in a bad spot, then suddenly everything changes. And as you see, Raikou, I think that Raikou is going to be targeted down, and Archops will also be KO'd because of the weakness that it has. And now it kind of it limits the amount of options that Lugia has. So amazing burst, attacking and getting 2 prizes. Wow, that was insane. And right hand from the prize cards. So that's also very, very important. Also, don't forget that Lugia is playing Roxanne, and that can be huge. Now, the problem with Roxanne is that normally by the time that you activate it, you're already, some players have already thinned out their deck so much that it doesn't really affect them. But let's see. So Serena is used here to draw some cards. Archeops had been used to accelerate energies, and we see an attack from Pikachu. Get enough damage to get the KO, and let's see what happens here. I think, well, right hand is probably going to be used. Now, Radiant Greninja is still open, so there are a bunch of things that can happen. Again, remember that this Pikachu cannot be targeted down, and getting 4 prizes doesn't look that easy. So I think that the Lost Zone player needs to be patient. Basically, they need to be patient. So concealed card is going to be used. So it draws some cards. Comfy can still be used if it really wanted to. And in fact, there are 2 Comfys that could be used, but I think that you want to attack here. Also, like how cool it would be if you were able to just get rid of that lone Archeops on the opponent field. But let's see. It's not an easy decision. Right hand, of course, is the supporter that is going to be played, and energy will be attached to Sableye, and maybe that's it. Maybe all that you need to do is to focus your energy on the Flying Pikachu, on the one that is damaged on the bench. I don't know. I've seen some recent Lugia decks that ran Bolus. I think the name is Bolus, right? You know, that supporter that lets you get rid of some of your benched Pokemon. So it would be very funny, actually, if you put a lot of effort into almost KOing one big VMAX only for them to leave the field, just like that. But I don't think, or it can also leave the field via collapsed stadium, but I don't think that is the case. So let's see. As we were saying, so Sableye had been powered up by right hand, and then an energy gets discarded. Maybe we're going to see here a Radiant Rayquaza, an Amazing Rayquaza, or a Cramorant. Well, there are not many options left, to be honest. And Manaphy is not worth at this point because Rayquaza is never going to come back. So let's see what happens here. I think maybe Rayquaza, I don't know. Depends on what you want to do. So the choice is between Rayquaza and Cramorant. Okay, so Cramorant in the end is left on the field. Oranguru will put something in the top of the deck, in this case the Scoop Up Net. so much time deciding whether to go for one or the other, only to have the 2 of them in your hand. Okay, that's fine. Sableye is going to attack. Now, I am really curious to see where it's going to put the damage counters. And it seems that it is going to target Flying Pikachu, the max. So I think that the play, or that the route here, is kind of like acknowledging that if you KO the Flying Pikachu VMAX, and if you KO the Archeops, you win the game. What I wonder is if you will have time to do so before Flying Pikachu gets all the prizes. Only 3 attacks is separating Lugia from becoming the late night champion. And as I said, we also know, and that's something that we need to consider, that Roxanne is a thing. So Marnie gets played again in an attempt to disrupt. Now, of course, the opponent didn't know, but the hand was not precisely good. In fact, the one that they have now is even better. Is even better than the one that we're leaving. But it's true that there were a couple of Mirage Gates. Anyways, so another Flying Pikachu gets powered. Oh, and in this case, what did it get attached? It might be considering attacking with the Flying Pikachu that is damaged. So Comfy is it's played. The Hisuian Heavy Ball can give something interesting if it is played, but first Comfy. So I think that Energy Recycler needs to be grabbed, and yeah, possibly the energies. So this is very important. Now, I don't know if there is still another super rod to get Sableye back, or the amount of Sableyes, because I remember... So one Sableye is there. Was the other one in the Lost Zone? No, so there must be... So the other Sableye is either on the deck or in the prizes, in which case it will be, or it should be able to be grabbed with the Hisuian Heavy Ball. So let's see what happens here. So flower selecting, getting that Mirage. Yes, Mirage is going to be preferred in this situation, I feel. There are still energies in the deck, and we still, the player, I mean, still have access to recycle a lot of energy cards. So in this type of situations is where you start kind of sometimes regretting the choices that you had to make at the beginning of your game. But that's you know this, well, not the same, but this very famous quote of, with great power comes great responsibility. So I think that it defines very well what Lost Box does, in the sense that with great power comes great sacrifice, if you know what I mean. So I think that the energy needs to be picked if they want to attack with Sableye. Only 4 cards remaining, and this is going to get them at Sableye, I would imagine. Yes. So, boss's order is priced, and also the rod is priced. That can be very, very bad. Very, very bad. Because now you can get a KO, and you can get a KO on the Archeops. That for sure. You can, if you really want to, you can get a KO on the Archeops. Prices. How do you get the remaining 3 prizes? So a bunch of energies are now back into the deck, and I think that we're just going to see a Lost Mine. Oranguru would probably save the right hand, if I am not mistaken. Yes, so right hand, another, well, that's good. So another energy that you don't have to worry about. And Sableye is going to attack, and probably, I think that, yeah, or no. So it directly goes for... it goes for the Flying Pikachu, and it gets the KO. That's more than fine. So it gets the KO. So now the question is, can Lugia somehow avoid Sableye from getting the victory here? We know that they play Roxanne, so maybe Roxanne is what can save them this time. But honestly, all that they need to do is to get Sableye, get an energy, and that's it. So, very tense moments. Very, very, very tense moments. Yeah. I know that this is getting highly favored for the Lost Zone player. And yes, so basically I think this is GG, because they are going to draw into the right hand, and they have the Mirage Gate, they have Oranguru, they basically have everything. And I guess that if they really want it, they must have 1 escape rope remaining. So they can recycle Sableye if they want, and then use the Mirage Gate to attach some energies to it. So yeah, the game is over. It was well fought by Lugia, but so Sableye proved to be very, very, very powerful. So it is attaching the energies to Rayquaza, and with the boss's orders, it can easily target down Archeops, and that's it. The final attack, Lightning Rondo, and we already have the champions. The champion of the European Late Night Series. Wow. So 2-1. This is a really good example, I feel. Oops, let me put myself where I should. I think this was a really, really good example of how the matchup between Lost Zone and Rayquaza go. It was very interesting to see everything, and I don't know, what do you think about this? I really enjoyed having the possibility to watch all the amazing games that we had in top 8. It's true that if I have had the possibility, I would have loved to see a bit more of diversity in the games, but I understand, and we have been discussing this at the beginning, that this is a Lugia dominated format, and this time Lugia didn't win, but it was very close to. And also Lugia can be paired with different attackers that help in different situations. In this case, we saw Lugia with Flying Pikachu. That was a really interesting call to counter Regigigas and also to counter certain strategies of Lost Box or certain builds of Lost Box. Overall, I really, really enjoyed this. And if you have, of course, any feedback for me and the way that I am casting, this is my first time trying to cast. So you can be as savage as you want. So that's basically it. I'm going to be saying bye-bye. Actually, I haven't drunk anything over the past 3 hours, so I think that I'm going to die of dehydration. But I really hope that you had a pleasant time. By the way, I hope that this is not the last time that you see me casting, especially in the European scene. I know that we had some technical, as I was saying, I know that I messed up a little bit and we had some technical issues at the beginning, but in the end, I am very happy that we got to see practically all the games and that we got to see the finals. I think there were two very interesting decks that faced each other. And I am also happy that the quality of the games that we saw was what we would expect from a tournament as good and as big as the Late Night Series. By the way, in case that you don't know, if you want to participate in the Late Night Series, they are free. All that you need is a PTCGO account. And if you win, you get the chance to compete for a full paid trip to Japan. So how amazing is that? I cannot stress. I would be playing myself, but I decided to be here casting. So again, thanks so much for being here with me and with us. I am going to be now calling it a day. Also because it's quite late for me and I need to. Oh my god! And I actually need to wake up pretty early tomorrow morning. So that's it. I really appreciate all of you. Great finals, and please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel to see more quality content and participate in the Late Night Series because they are very, very fun. So thank you so much. Have a nice rest of the day or a nice night, evening, if it's the case of being in Europe, and I will go straight to get some water and to sleep. So thank you so much and bye-bye.
The Shuffle Squad is proudly sponsored by Atlas Collectibles, the best place to buy any trading card game product online. Visit atlastcg.com and at the checkout screen, make sure to use code TSS12 to save an unbeatable 12% off your entire order. Atlas Collectibles will ship your product anywhere in the world, so make sure you're taking advantage of the 12% savings with TSS12. And if Pokemon is not your thing, don't worry. Go to atlastcg.com and see all the other amazing trading card game products they have there to offer.
The Shuffle Squad is partnered with PTCGO Store to provide our community with the best access to Pokemon TCG codes. They have codes available 24/7, instant email delivery, and you can save 5% off by using code TSS5. If you're a YouTube member or Patreon supporter, you'll have access to a special code that gets you 10% off. So what are you waiting for? Use code TSS5 today and save 5% on your next order of codes on any codes available at ptcgostore.com.
Are you trying to be the best like no one ever was? Now is your time. Head on over to Metafy.gg and search out all our amazing Pokemon TCG coaches where you can book all sorts of training plans ranging from deck help to full season sessions with your favorite coach. What a great way to up your game. Check out Metafy.gg in the description below and take your game to the next level. Challenge yourself against trainers from around the world to compete for the biggest online prizing yet.
Are you ready for an unbelievable tournament unlike anything else you've ever seen before? The Shuffle Squad is proud to announce our newest tournament series, the Late Night Events, with an amazing grand prize that's bound to have you excited.
Players can compete via play.limitless.tcg.com's online tournament platform every Tuesday to get a chance to earn weekly prizes. And every week, your placement in the tournament is tallied by points based on your best finishes to earn your rank for the Late Night Invitational event.
The series will be conducted starting February 7th of 2023 and carry all the way through to the Invitational on July 9th of 2023, where the top players will be rewarded the grand prizing.
And the grand prize is a signed jersey and photo op with the entire Shuffle Squad, as well as a fully paid trip to the Pokemon World Championships in Yokohama, Japan. This includes hotel and airfare, whether you're a player or a spectator.
Don't forget to check out all the live coverage on our YouTube and Twitch channel of the top cuts of these events for every week. And subscribe so you can get notified where to watch the Late Night Events Invitational brought to you by the Shuffle Squad. Now get out there and start winning. We'll see you in Japan.